This is Jacob Knight from Manly Honda. So I'm standing in front of a Honda CRV that's just like yours. It's an EX. So I'm just going to go over some of the basic features on the car to give you a general idea of how everything works. So just first off, on your key, you have this button to lock, this one to unlock. This one right here is to remote start the vehicle. So what you would want to do is lock the car first and then hold this down for about 5 seconds, and then it'll start the vehicle. So what it does is it doesn't just start the vehicle, it actually brings it to 72 degrees. So if it's hot, it cools it down. If it's cold, it'll warm it up, which is amazing if it's for any time of the year. And then if you decide that you don't need to get in the car, you just hold the button down again and it shuts off the car. And then right here, this is the panic button. But if you wanted to lock the car while you had the keys in your pocket, you can. So it has the keyless entry. So when you touch your finger right here on those ridges, you can lock the car. The ridges are only on the front doors. So it's only on the front passenger, front driver side. And then if you wanted to get in the car, you actually reach into the door handle and unlock the car. So it has sensors in the door handle that actually read your hand, and it'll let you know that you can get in the car. And then you can push that and it'll lock the car. Stick your hand in and it unlocks. And another thing to point out is you have blind spot monitors. So just like your Buick, I don't know if you can see that, it's kind of hard to see it. Oh, right there. So right here, there's a little car symbol. What that does is it lights up just like in your Buick, how there was a little light on the inside corner of the door. Instead, it's on the mirrors. So it does the same thing. The car is in your blind spot, it lights up. If you turn your blinker on in the direction of that car, it'll start flashing and beeping to let you know, hey, you don't want to get over there. There's a car there. Then moving on down here, the seat, you can lift it up in the front to lift the front of the seat up, and push it down to lower it. This part raises the whole seat up and down, and then you slide it forward and back to move the seat. Right here, this is for the back of the seat, so you can move it forward and back. Right here, this is the lumbar support. So it's a 4-way lumbar support. There's a bar that goes across the back of the seat, and you can move it forward, back, up, and down with these arrows right here. And then so I'm just gonna hop in and we'll just go over everything real quick. So I'm gonna go over it from left to right just to give you an idea. So since it's keyless entry, you just put your foot on the brake and then push the engine start stop button, and then it comes on. It takes a second for the screen to load. You just hit OK on the disclaimer. That pops up every time. So I'm just gonna go from left to right. So over here on the left, over here, you have your controls to turn on and off the road departure mitigation, the collision control, and the traction control. So since you got a new Honda, it has the Honda suite of sensing. So it has collision mitigation, which is if you if an object is in front of you and it's going slower than you are, and the sensors up here behind the mirror think that you might possibly hit the vehicle or object. It could be a little kid, a deer, or anything that's in front of you. So what it does is down here on this screen, it'll tell you to brake. It won't make any noise, but it'll flash brake. If you get too close to the object, it'll actually apply the brakes for you so you don't hit it. So and it'll even come to a complete stop. So, which is amazing. I've had it save me a couple times in my new CRV, so I really love it. There's also the lane keeping assist system. So what that does is, as long as you're going over 45 miles per hour and the sensors can visibly see the lines in the road, if you go towards the line, it'll keep you centered in the middle of the lane, which is really nice, really helpful when you're going on a long commute, on the freeway, and it also pairs well with the adaptive cruise control. So the adaptive cruise control is when say you have your cruise control set for 75 and the car in front of you is going 60, the car will automatically slow down to 60 and keep a certain distance between you and the car in front of you, which is really great. So if the car slows down, speeds up, it compensates and keeps a certain distance that you set between you and the car in front of you. And you can change the distance with this button right here. So you can have it for 4 car lengths, 3, 2, or 1. My preference is 3 or 2 because 4, a lot of times people cut you off, and 1 just feels like it's too close for comfort for me. That's my preference. And then the last thing on the Honda Sensing is the road departure mitigation. So if you deter from the lane without using your turn signal, it'll actually apply the brakes and steer you back into the middle of the lane, or steer you back into the lane, so that you don't go off the road and anything like that, which would not be good. So you can turn on and off the road departure mitigation with this button here. Green is on, so it was off. And the collision mitigation is this button. You can turn on and off right there. This is the traction control. You can turn that on and off right there. Moving on over here, there is this button. You can change the driver interface up here. So the little gas can, when you click on that, it shows your range. So right now, about a quarter of a tank, so you can go 83 miles with a quarter of a tank. And it shows your average fuel as well. And then move it on over to the coffee cup. So this car has sensors that actually determine how well you're driving. So if you're swerving, going in and out of the lanes, this little meter right here fills up. And then when it gets too full, it'll actually let you know, hey, your attention level's low, you might want to get out and stretch your legs or something like that. Then if you move it on over here, this little wrench tells you how good your oil life is. This is for your music. So right now the audio power is off, but when you turn it on, it tells you what radio station you're on, whether you're on FM or AM or Sirius XM. It gives you those options to change it. And up and down changes from FM to Sirius XM or AM or Bluetooth. And then the left and right change the whatever music's playing. All right, and then the phone over to the right, you can actually assign speed dials. So when you assign the speed dials, you can communicate, make phone calls right from here using these controls. And now you can answer the phone here. You can hang up right here with this one, or you can make a voice command with this one. So when you push that one over here, it gives you some commands that you can tell. You can tell it to call a certain person, search for a certain kind of music, or you can, if you have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto hooked up, you can talk to Siri or Google Assistant. You can tell it to look up a certain address and navigate towards that address. There's a lot of different things that you can do with that. Moving on over here, so this is how you control the adaptive cruise control and the lane assist. So you push this main button right here to prep it. So by prepping it, it brings up these lights up here, ACC and LKAS. So by turning those on, it preps it. So you can't use the cruise control or the lane assist without having those little lights on right there. So to turn on the lane assist, you push this button right here. So what that does is it brings up these little roads right here. As you can see, there's like a little road right there. It's not filled in right now because we're not meeting the requirements of going over 45 miles per hour. And there's no visible lines in the road in front of us right now. So once you meet those requirements, that'll fill in and it will activate. To change the distance between you and the car in front of you, you use this button. So you can see the car lengths that you have set when you push it. So right now it's set for 4. Then you can move it to 3, 2, and 1, and back to 4, down to 3. So right here, when you're actually driving, you can push this button, the set button, to set the cruise control, just like your regular cruise control. And moving on over here, This is your home screen. So you hit home. It brings up this menu. You can organize it how you want. So say Apple CarPlay and Android Auto is the most important thing to you. You just hold it down. Then it brings it out. Let's see. Hold it down, and then you can just move it where you want. Hit OK, and then it saves it. Alright, and then right here, it just has your quick go-to buttons. So you have your audio button, phone button, and back button on the left side. And the audio, to change the source, you hit source. And it brings up all your different options, FM, AM, Sirius XM, Bluetooth, all that good stuff. If you ever want to go back, you just hit the back button. It's real simple. If you want to change the bass and treble, you go to menu. Then you go down to sound. And then you can choose your bass and treble settings that you want. We'll go back to home. Onda Link is a great feature. So what that does is it actually notifies emergency personnel. God forbid that you ever happen to get into an accident and you're unconscious and you can't help yourself. It'll notify emergency personnel as long as your phone is connected by Bluetooth to the car or by USB cable and your phone has a phone signal. If it meets those requirements, it'll notify emergency personnel and let them know to come out to where you're at. Alright, down here, these are your climate controls and heated seats. So you have 3 different settings, 3 being the hottest, 2, 1, and off. And there's one for the driver's side, and there's one for the passenger side. The climate control is pretty simple to use. So the way to use it is you just push. My way of using it is I just push the climate button, and then it brings up this menu. So you can just change it really quick. So if you just wanted it on the feet, bring it back. If you just want it on the feet, just hit the feet button. If you wanted the AC on, just hit on. If you want it on high, you just hit high or low or whatever you prefer. And then you can just hit the climate button again, and then it goes back down. Alright, and then moving on right here. This is one of my favorite features. It says brake hold. So what that does is when you push that, you have to have your seatbelt on. One moment. So when you push the brake hold, it says brake hold system standby, and it turns on this little light down there in the corner. A little green light that says brake hold. So what that does is when you put it into drive, it'll say hold right under where it says brake hold, meaning that it's holding the brake. So I have the car in drive right now. I have my foot off the brake. So what it does is it initially holds the brake for you while you're in drive. Only if you depress the brake all the way to the floor. So as long as you do that, it'll hold the thing, and you'll know that it's holding it because it'll say hold right there. If it doesn't say hold, then it's not holding the brake. As soon as you push the gas, the car starts moving forward, and it'll release the brake automatically. And if you go to push the brake again, it'll hold the brake again, and you can let go of the brake and it'll activate the same way. So you can do that over and over. It's really great if you're in stop and go traffic, if you're at a long stoplight, or you're just in a fast food drive-thru and there's a lot of stopping and going. You don't want to keep your foot on the brake. You don't want to keep putting the car in park. So it's really convenient. I use it all the time, even on my daily commute, which is like 3 minutes from my house. Or not 3 minutes, like 3 miles from my house. So it's really convenient. If you put the car in reverse, the EX comes with cross traffic monitoring, which is this button right here in the bottom right corner of the screen. So what that does is if there's a car coming from either way, either direction, so if it's coming from this way or the other way, there will be arrows right here, or there will be arrows right here to let you know, hey, there's a car coming from over there. And then there's 3 different backup cameras. So there's the wide angle, which is this one. Then there's the narrow angle, which is this one. And then there's the right up on the bumper view, so you can see exactly how close you're getting to somebody, which is really great if you're doing tight parking like I'm doing right now. And then you just put it back in park. So this is the parking brake right here. You lift it up to set the parking brake. And you can see down in the corner that there's a little brake light that comes on. It tells you that the parking brake's on. To release the parking brake, you have to put your foot on the brake and then push down on the button, and it releases it. And then now, as you can see, the light's gone. Then moving on down here, the S, a lot of people want to know what the S is. That's sport mode. So that's the sport gear. So it increases the acceleration in the vehicle. It lowers the adjusts the dampers to lower the vehicle so that you can corner better around turns. So it's really nice if you're going over to the coast on one of those windy roads. It's a really nice driving experience. The low right here is low gear, as you would have thought. So that's great if you're going up a steep hill or down a steep hill and you don't want to burn up your brakes. You could just put it in low. Over here, there's the auto engine idle stop turn off. So this vehicle, when you come to a complete stop, sometimes it'll turn off the vehicle to save you gas. So what this does is, if you don't like that feature, you can turn it off by pushing this button. So when you push it, it'll say auto engine idle stop disabled, and up in the corner there'll be a little A with a circle around it. So that's how you know that the feature is turned off. To turn it back on, you just push the button again, and it says auto engine idle stop enabled. Right here, this is the Econ button. So when you push that, this little leaf comes on up in the corner by the where it shows what gear you're in. So what that does is it makes it so the AC and the heater doesn't blow as hard, and makes it so your car doesn't accelerate as fast, thereby saving you a couple miles per gallon. So if those are a couple things that you don't really care about, you can leave it on and save yourself some gas. All right, and then up here, this is a one-touch moonroof. So you just have to push it till it clicks, and then it'll open all the way. You don't have to keep your finger on the button. And the same when you're closing it, you just push it once till it clicks, and then it'll close all the way. You push it in to tilt it. Once again, I'll show you that again. So you push it forward to close it. You push it in to tilt it, which is really nice if you don't want the air coming this way, but you want some air flow. So it's a really great feature to have. And push it forward to close it again. And then this is, you move it with your hand to close this. All right, so if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm always here to help. Night from Manly Honda, signing off. You guys have a great rest of your day.